Welcome to ANSRS4U Express. Is it a gift or a grant? This short lesson will help you determine whether the funding is in the form of a gift or a grant. The factors that will be discussed are all important considerations in determining whether incoming funds are gifts or grants. No single indicator is by itself the characterization of a gift versus a grant. Keep in mind the following overarching concepts. Grants are reciprocal in nature. Each party is giving and receiving something of relatively equal value in the transaction. A gift or contribution is an item given by the donor who expects nothing significant of value in return, other than the recognition and disposition of the gift in accordance with the donor's wishes. As a nonprofit organization, the Texas A&M Foundation is the primary academic fundraiser institution for Texas A&M University, charged with raising and managing gifts of all types and sizes, with a focus on major gift endowments. Texas A&M Sponsored Research Services processes sponsored funded awards for system members. Sponsored funded projects can come under a variety of names such as grants, cooperative agreements, or contracts. For the purpose of this presentation, we will refer to them as grants. The awards received by SRS on behalf of the Texas A&M University system members are generally for the purpose of funding research, but awards can also be used for other purposes such as training or public service. The Sponsored Research Services website has a table which lists award characteristics to help determine if an award is a grant, contract, or a gift. The following slides contain excerpts from that table. Note that this is a tool to provide assistance, as the existence of one characteristic alone is likely not sufficient to make a determination. Funds provided by a governmental agency would be a grant or a contract. Funds provided by an individual would generally be a gift. Funds from a nonprofit foundation could be considered a grant or a gift. Please work with your SRS contract negotiator to ensure the appropriate determination. Let's look at the process to apply for the funds. For a grant or contract, funds are provided in response to a formal request for proposal, RFP, or a scope of work defined by the faculty member in their unsolicited or solicited proposal. What is the funder's intent in awarding the funds? All could be providing funds to further a charitable purpose. A grant is usually for a public purpose and a contract for the benefit of the agency providing the funding. Generally, a gift will be used for funding an endowment or funding a professorship. Let's look at some of the terms of use. We will focus on the funds. Other terms of use are listed in the table on the SRS website. Once funds are given via a gift, they are irrevocable. For a grant, the sponsor could amend the agreement and deobligate the funding and/or terminate the agreement. For a gift, there will not be restrictions on the fund, other than that they are spent for the specified purpose. For grant funds, typically they are governed by guidelines and policies. In many cases, the benefit and outcomes generated from the use of funds can be the same or close to the same. A grant would typically include language regarding intellectual property, IP ownership, and publication guidelines. If it's a gift, the funder does not require technical or scientific data to be given them as a condition of the award. For a grant, the funder generally will require technical or scientific data to be given to them as a condition of the award. Some other factors to determine if it is a gift or a grant. Generally, with a grant, the system member must return the unspent funds, whereas with a gift, there is generally no financial reporting. For a gift, there are no restrictions on the usage of the funds or the time period in which to spend them. There are no budgets associated with the donation. For a grant, the funder may require the funds remaining at the termination of the project be returned, or may require formal permission to spend outside of the defined budget period. Fortunately, you do not need to try and make the determination as to whether funding should be considered a gift or a grant. There are professionals available to make that determination. For sponsored research services, contact Catherine Kissman, or Travis Young via the contact information shown on the slide. If you think something is a gift, then you can contact your respective Foundation Development Officer or team for your college or department. If unsure who to contact, the main line of the Foundation is provided on the slide.